Good morning, students. We are further moving ahead with elections. The Election Commission of India will notify the election date, nomination date, withdrawal date, counting dates, and closing date of all electoral activities. It's the responsibility of the Election Commission, which is an agency or which is an organization of Indian Constitution. So this Election Commission declares the election. Naturally, the political parties become active before that itself. If the elections are being held after the 5-year normal period of the assembly or of the parliament. But sometimes elections may be held in between the 5-year term also. If there is one vacancy or two vacancies, there will be elections, and those elections are called by-elections. The person who gets elected to the house will get only the remaining period of the house. He will not get full 5 years. If the parliament by-election is taking place, in Karnataka there is going to have election in Belgaum. So the person who gets elected will get a remaining 4-year period only. He will not get a complete 5 years. So now we are coming to the nomination of the candidates. Any citizen of India above the age of 25, if he is not disqualified otherwise, that means he is not declared a pauper, or if he is not being treated in mental hospitals, or by any other reason the government has declared a person not permitted to contest the election, can stand as a candidate in any election in any part of India, except reserved constituencies. Reserved constituencies are meant only for those persons who are reserved. So a reserved person or a scheduled caste member or a scheduled tribe member can stand in general seats. But a scheduled caste member cannot stand in the seats reserved for the scheduled tribe, and scheduled tribe members cannot stand in the reserved for scheduled caste. That we had discussed yesterday. So the nomination is nothing statement of a person that he is ready to stand as a candidate in the election. He has deposited some amount that time to time Election Commission will declare. If he gets 4% of the total odds, he will get back the amount he has deposited. And in the nomination paper, he has to give an affidavit stating that there are no serious criminal cases against him, and the assets and liabilities means how much wealth he has got and how much loans he has taken, or he has to pay to somebody the amount. Wealth means it can be car, it can be house, it can be agricultural land, it can be share in the big companies, anything. Liabilities means the loan he has taken. If he wanted to purchase a car, he has taken a loan from the bank to purchase it. It is a liability. He has taken a loan to start a factory. That's also liability. So, the assets and liabilities also should be informed. Then the educational qualification. In educational qualification and the liabilities and assets, no minimum, no maximum. That you must understand. In asset, if he is not able to deposit the amount, he cannot stand as a candidate, that's all. But if anybody else is ready to deposit the amount, he can stand as a candidate. In educational qualifications, the Constitution doesn't prescribe any basic qualification for any elected post in India. In Rajasthan, for the Panchayat elections, they have mentioned the 12th class. Otherwise, all over India, no prescribed educational qualification is needed for any elected post. So an illiterate, it doesn't mean that anybody who is illiterate is a person who doesn't know anything. He may have higher knowledge of practical understanding than the person who has gone to schools and colleges. That's a different matter. We are not discussing about the abilities and talents of the person, the certificate of educational qualification. So, but if you want to get a job of a clerk, you must have 10th plus pass certificate. But if you want to be a minister or the president of India, there is no need to have any prescribed educational qualifications. He should be a citizen of India. His name should be there in the voters list. Should have crossed the age of 25. To be president of India, he should be above 35. That's it. The political parties nominate the candidate. The political parties will give its authority for a person that is sent or permitted by the political party to stand as a candidate, and that person who gets a political party's permission, he gets the party symbol. So if one party, if a person is from the Janata Dal or he is from Shiva Sena, all the candidates of Shiva Sena will get the party symbol of bow and arrow. If he is from AAP, he will get a broom. He is from RJD, he will get a lamp. So, then all the candidates of that political party will get the symbol of that party. Independent candidates will get any symbol that is not officially given to any political parties. So naturally, different independent candidates will have different symbols. The political party symbol will be same for all its candidates. And elections are held on the universal adult franchise. And naturally, election campaign starts even before that. Election campaign means what? The political parties or the candidates going to the people stating that I am the candidate, please elect me. And if I am elected, what all things I will do. That's the election campaign. They may quote slogans. The political parties will be given time in the All India Radio and Doordarshan. And the political parties will be advertising in all the TV channels and radio and modern period in the net by paying huge amount. In 1971, Congress party had raised the slogan Garibi Hatao. But in 1977, when Indira Gandhi declared emergency, the opposition parties have raised the slogan Save Democracy. And in 1977 again, some parties have raised the slogan named Land to the Tiller. N.T. Ramarao in his party in Tamil, Andhra Pradesh have raised the slogan Protest the self-respect of the Telugus. Like the different parties propagate their idea and they say, why we are elected, what will be done? What are the drawbacks of other parties? All those things they do. But sometimes what they do, the political parties or the individuals who are very rich may give money to the voters. That's wrong. Constitution doesn't permit. That is what we call corruptions. And vote cannot be asked in the name of the caste or religion. As per the Constitution, no candidate should speak about the religion or a caste during the election campaign. But we see many times just opposite. The ministers are not entitled or not permitted to use the resources of the government. Means they cannot use the government plane, they cannot use the government car, they cannot use the government buildings for election purposes. Even if he is a minister, he has to use other facilities. Only the Prime Minister is permitted to use the government plane because of the security purposes. Otherwise, he is not permitted, or any other political members of this party is not permitted to use the government facilities for election, even movement for election campaign. For parliamentary election, they are permitted to spend 25 lakhs. Election campaign notice is needed. Announcements will be going on. VIPs will come and speak. All those expenditure. Maximum an individual is a person who stands as a candidate is permitted to spend 25 lakhs if for parliamentary election and 10 lakhs for the assembly election. But we read illegally or here and there that many spend more than that. Election Commission is bound to check, and Election Commission has to see the expenditure bills. But we know unofficially many spend more than what is permitted. Then during the election time, Model Code of Conduct means ministers and officials or ministers cannot use the facilities of the government. They cannot lay the foundation stones during the election campaign. They cannot inaugurate any activities in a constituency after election is notified. Then we come to see the polling. On the election declared day, people go to the polling booth, they vote. They may be usually till 5 o'clock. But you reach there 5 o'clock and there's a long queue, you will get a right to vote. The election officer will give you a paper stating that you are ready to vote. So the last time will be 5 o'clock. After that, nobody will be permitted to join in the queue. So, after voting, nowadays we use EVMs, electronic voting machines. People will press the button and voting will take place. There are so many complaints about voting machines. Still we follow voting machine. Because it's very easy to count. That's the main advantage. Otherwise it would take 4 or 5 days to finalize the result of an election. In my younger days, I used to hear 4 days, 5 days, we would be waiting to know total election result of parliament. Now within starting of the counting within hours, by 11:30, 12 o'clock or maximum by evening 6, all the results will be out. Because of electronic voting machines. So counting of votes, which candidate has got more votes. The candidate who gets more vote will be declared winner. He may be getting only 10% of total votes. He may be declared winner. If 10 candidates are there, one person gets 11% vote or 10.5% vote, one candidate gets, all others get 9% and one candidate gets 9.5%. The person who gets 10.5% of total votes will be declared winner. So naturally he is not a representative of 89.5% of people. 89.5% of the people have voted against him. And this is also only those persons who have voted. There may be people who have not voted. Percentage of people who have voted may be 70 to 80 or 60 to 70 or 65 to 75. So among them, the person who gets a majority of votes will be declared as the winner. And those elected members will go to the parliament or assembly and form the government. Depends on the party which gets a majority. Why Election Commission or the Government of India or the Constitution has told ministers should not use the government facilities? Because field should be same, playing field should be same for both the ruling party and opposition party. Opposition party also should get same facilities. Otherwise the ministers will use the government facilities and will not spend any money from their account. The opposition parties have to spend. That is unfair. That is why equal playing field should be there. That is why government ministers or ministers in power at that time are not permitted to use any governmental facilities for election campaign. The Prime Minister is given that excuse because of the security problem. Because the life of the Prime Minister is important for the country. That's it. So, we have got Independent Election Commission. Our participation in the election is around 60 to 70%. In India, we can say many times our democracy is vibrant because the ruling party has lost the elections many times. Many times. The sitting candidate will be losing, other candidates will be, or this ruling political party will lose and other parties will come to power because the people of India has got the right to decide. They decide. But still there are some frictions and disagreements. Many times we know the richest persons or the parties which are having plenty of money come to power and the richest members of the society support some political parties and other parties are not able to get so much of money that is needed. All those things are taking place. So sometimes we feel the elections are not 100% impartial. Let us hope it will be democratic and impartial elections that take place in India, and Indian democratic system will continue. Thank you.